Please be ready for a dictation of part 1 of the address by the President of India on the occasion of commemoration of the centenary celebrations of the Madras Legislative Council, Chennai, on August 2, 2021. I have edited the text of the address and please check accordingly. 5 seconds. Start. I am glad to be among you here today on this historic occasion. Today I have just unveiled the portrait of M. Karunanidhi. It is indeed a momentous day. We are commemorating the centenary of the Madras Legislative Council as it was known then. August is an especially auspicious month in our national calendar as it marks the anniversary of our Independence Day too. In these years, the nation has made great progress on several fronts, and it was made possible by the joint work of people and the leaders of the country. The history of the Madras Legislative Council, as you know, dates back to 1861. An advisory body set up back then bloomed into a law-making assembly in 1921. Under colonial rule, there were, of course, many limitations and challenges on the functioning of such a body. Also, there were numerous separate constituencies based on caste, community, and other parameters. Still, even if partial, it was a move towards a responsible government. Democracy in its modern form was returning to the land where it was practiced centuries ago. It was a new beginning heralded by the people of the Madras Presidency, which included Tamil Nadu as well as parts of Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Odisha and Lakshadweep. Dreams and aspirations of the people of these regions, shaped by the freedom movement, found an expression in the new Legislative Council. In the Justice Party, which won popular mandates in the initial phase, people had a platform to turn their dreams into reality. The Legislative Council enacted many forward-looking legislations and also underwent many changes in its early decades. That spirit of democracy remains the guiding light of the state legislature. It would not be wrong to say that this legislature became the fountainhead of many progressive legislations which were subsequently replicated across the country to empower the weaker sections of society and strengthen our democracy. The Madras legislature had sown seeds of a fully representative democratic form of governance which were realized after independence. This legislature can rightly be credited with nurturing the roots of democracy by focusing on governance to uplift the poor and purge social evils. Politics and governance in the region evolved around positive and rational content that targeted the welfare of those living on the margins. Abolition of the Devdasi system, widow remarriage, midday meals in schools, and distribution of agricultural land to the landless were some of the revolutionary ideas that transformed the society. The concept of the welfare state has taken deep roots in this legislature, irrespective of who rules here. Here, I would like to quote a few lines from the great Tamil poet Subramania Bharati, who sums up the progressive thinking of the people of Tamil Nadu. We will learn both scripture and science. We will explore both heavens and oceans. We will unravel the mysteries of the moon, and we will sweep our streets clean too. When I came here, I was thinking about Chakravarti Rajagopalachari, Gandhiji's conscience keeper, and a titan among the freedom fighters. He was the first Indian occupant of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, and his presence graced this august house too. He was the first premier or chief minister of Madras state too. His successors too were exemplary political leaders. Among all Rajaji's successors, however, it is Thiru Karunanidhi who ruled the longest and thus has left a defining stamp on Tamil Nadu. Stop.